Caleb Gwaltney here from Integrity Roofing, and today we'd like to answer the top 5 questions we get asked from our homeowners. So the first question we have up today is, why is ventilation important? The 3 biggest factors we look at with ventilation is airflow, heat, and moisture. So we'll start with the heat. Obviously, we've got an attic space above, a living space in most cases, and you're going to have that temperature difference. So we really don't want all that heat buildup and heat getting trapped in your attic space with no way to escape. So moving on to airflow, that's really where airflow comes into play. Generally, we're talking about a soffit intake ventilation in a ridge vent in best case scenario. So we really want that cool air coming in down low in the attic and drafting out of the top, constantly moving fresh, cool air in the attic space. And the third thing would be moisture, guys. So we don't want to be trapping any kind of moisture inside the attic space with nowhere for it to go. A lot of times you run into bath vents that are unfortunately exhausted in the attic space, humidity, those sorts of things, all can get trapped in a dark place, and we all know mildew and God forbid anything with mold could happen, but we really want to get air moving through that attic space to keep that temperature down, to keep any kind of moisture buildup down, and just to keep everything breathing. The reason that is so critical on the roof system itself is if we put a brand new roof system on a home with no ventilation where air cannot get underneath the roof system and flow, we're going to run into issues with overheating. And what can happen is the shingles will actually blister in some cases, an extreme heat buildup. And also severe granule loss can occur when those shingles get overheated, is what we call it, or we call it kind of cooked in roofers' terms. So we really want to keep that cool air moving and keep that shingle temperature down, as low as possible. That can also affect your manufacturer's warranties. If we ever had, severe granulation loss or blistering or shingles that are unsealed, anything like that, and we don't have proper ventilation, no matter what roof system we or any other contractor sell you, the manufacturer has an out of that warranty. So if we don't do right by our homeowners, and really we're not just talking about shingles, we're talking about a roof system, we have got to keep ventilation front of mind. That way, whatever we sell the homeowner, we make sure that they get what they deserve, and God forbid they ever have an issue, they do have a warranty that is legitimate and that's, the manufacturer will honor. Okay guys, the second question we get asked often is, can I have my roof installed over old shingles? This is very, very common. We get this question several times a week from folks calling in asking, hey, I just need a recover, or I just need a layover, is what some customers are calling it. Something to be mindful of, and the reason we actually don't do any recovers. The first one being, again, kind of like we talked about ventilation, that excessive heat buildup. With it being an asphalt tar-based product, you can imagine on a hot day, that sun coming through, on no clouds, hitting those shingles directly, how hot those are getting. If we start stacking multiple layers on top of each other, you can imagine how much hotter that will get as it retains the heat. Especially in a situation where ventilation might not be 100% correct. The second biggest factor with that is the weight buildup on the home. We've actually ran into roofs where we are in the Midwest, where we've actually had roofs with 11 layers on it, believe it or not. And if you ever go into an area that's heavy populated, like a downtown area with multiple homes that are older, a lot of times you can look up and you can see what used to be a straight roof line. Those rafters are now bowed in, or what we call have a belly in them, or a swag like this, because all the weight of those shingles are coming down and pushing down on that roof system from day one. So the more layers you put on your home, we really start to get concerned about, cracked rafters, cracked trusses, and at that point really doing structural damage to the home as well. If we put layers on top of layers, again with the heat buildup, if we ever do have an issue, no matter what shingle we're installing, usually in the fine print of those shingle manufacturers, you'll see in there that if there's multiple layers, that it's not going to be covered under warranty, or that it can be an out for them to not cover in a warranty scenario. And also, during that process of stripping the roof off, we're really able to see all the decking and all the components of the roof to make sure the decking, all the substrate, everything underneath is in good nailable shape to be able to receive and put a new roof on. The third question today, guys, we're going to go over is, if I have a leak, does it always mean my roof needs replaced? We get asked this very, very often. And the quick answer to that is absolutely not. There are companies out there that may want to push a full roof versus a repair because it can be more profitable, or maybe their labor is built to handle full replacements over having repair guys. But the quick answer is no. There are so many components to a roofing system other than what a lot of folks think of, including myself before I got into the roofing industry. You think roof, you think shingles, and now have been in this industry for years. I understand, and what we try to educate our homeowners as well is it's really a full system. We've got shingles and ridge cap and ventilation and underlayment and flashings and drip edges and all these different things to think about when we talk about a roof system. So a lot of times a roof leak is simply just maybe something wasn't flashed properly, or maybe something was sealed with a sealant that isn't made to last the whole lifetime of the shingle. So 5 years into this roof, we've got some sealant or caulking failing in an area where it shouldn't have been used. So there's several different dynamics of the roof system and what could cause a leak. And long as that roof is in good shape and not too old and brittle, there's a lot of times we can save folks from having to buy a full roof where they have called in and thought, oh my gosh, I need a full roof. And we were able to just go ahead and do a simple repair and save them thousands of dollars and repair it and put a warranty on it for a fraction of what it would have cost them otherwise. Another question we get asked often is, do I need to hire somebody who is licensed and insured? The quick answer to that is absolutely. Whenever you're hiring a contractor, you want to make sure that they do have a license in that industry. For instance, in Illinois, in the other states that we work in, a roofing license is required. So not only is it kind of leveling the playing field to making sure you're getting a legitimate company, it's also illegal to operate as a roofing company if you're not licensed. So we always recommend going on the Better Business Bureau and asking the company when you call, are you licensed? Do you have the literature to provide me so I can double check your license? As well as that license number should be on the vehicle and on the contract as well. If you're in any of the states that we serve, you absolutely want to make sure that your contractor is licensed and up to date on all their paperwork and insurance. As well as some municipalities and cities require building permits to even put on a roof or install a roof. You want to check with your contractor as well to make sure if you're in an area that requires pulling a permit, are they responsible and are they going to do so? All right, guys, the next question we get asked is, should my contractor be asking me to pay up front for my materials? And what I would like to do today is clarify. If a contractor is asking you to go to a supply house and or a box store like a Lowe's or a Home Depot and asking you to provide and pay for those materials for him to do the job, that is something you probably want to stay away from. The reason being is there's a good chance and a potential that maybe he's a startup company possibly that doesn't have a lot of experience. Or the opposite, maybe they've been around for a long, long time and they don't have a track record of possibly paying for their material bills and paying for those accounts at the supply houses. So they might not have the credit or the reputation to go out and buy a job without it being paid for in full. In either one of those scenarios, that would be someone I would definitely question myself of, do I want to do business? Do I want to trust this person to do quality work on my home? And also honor any warranty claims that I may have if any issues arise. Second to that, I would like to add that would be a different scenario than a down payment. Most reputable, good contractors are going to require a down payment for the project, as we do as well. We take a percentage of the contract price at the time of signing our agreements, and that really is to secure the customer spot on our production schedule and get the ball moving to hold their place on that schedule for us to come do their job. So most companies are going to require a down payment if they're a reputable company who does any volume, but that is not the same thing as you're going to have to go out and purchase your own materials and pay for them in full so someone can come do your job. So those would be the two scenarios, and you definitely want to be mindful and be careful about paying for your own materials on the front end. Well, thank you guys for listening today. If you have any other questions, please feel free to message us at our Facebook or our Instagram account. We're going to start doing this on the regular, try to answer questions from folks and customers in our community. We really appreciate you guys being with us today. Take care.